Hi everybody and welcome to the Royal Chess YouTube channel. My name is Kanovsky and this is part 10, so the last part of my serial of Dave lectures for you. For the last part I have chosen my game against Martin Jacek from 2011 from Pardubice, if I'm not wrong. And this game is really interesting in my opinion, especially from the point of view that even if you have a very good position and very solid position and you have, let's say, a bit weaker opponent than you, because at the time of this game I had a rating about, let's say, 2460, 70 maybe, and my opponent had something about 2200. And as you can see, in this game we have played the French opening, and after 14 moves of this game I was of course really happy with my position, because I would say this is almost ideal situation from the French opening, for black I mean, of course, because here we can see that almost all black pieces are very well placed. Black knight from f5 is attacking probably the most important square in the position, so d4 square, d4 pawn. Also the knight can of course in some good moment exchange white bishop on e3. Of course also the second black knight seems really very well. On b4 square he is attacking the white position, a2 pawn, maybe d3 square, and of course the knight can go back to c6 square to attack that important d4 square too. Also light card bishop on b5 is really nice at the moment, and it was also the last move of this game, bishop from d7 to b5, and usually this bishop is a bit problem in French positions with this French pawn structure, so d4 and e5 pawns against d5 and e6 pawns. But as we can see in this situation, this bishop is really not a problem for black, because he's really active on this diagonal f1 a6. At the moment he's attacking white rook on f1, and also c-file is not under black's control, but black is controlling also the only open file in the position, and of course also black queen is good on b6, bishop on e7 same. So all in all, as I have said already, I was quite happy with my position. But after rook e1 I probably made a big mistake, and I was already talking about this mistake in the game I have played against the grandmaster Martin Petr, where I have played that knight f5 move, very nice from the first point of view, but in fact mistaken, because it simply lost the pawn and also the game probably. And in this situation I was probably too happy with my position, and I mean I evaluated this position as already better for black, but on the other hand there's probably no reason why black should be so much better here. because okay, black pieces are really good. Black is attacking d4 square and so on, but white pieces are also well placed, and the truth is that at the moment white is not attacking almost anything. Okay, he can of course exchange his bishop for that knight on f5, but on the other hand, this exchange is often not so good for white, because of course his light colored bishop is very important in general in French positions. So I mean in pawn structures with French position, as I said. So we cannot see, let's say, what white should do here as an active play, but on the other hand, except d4 square, d4 pawn, he has no weakness in his position, and also, as we can see, that the d4 pawn is really well protected at the moment by 4 white pieces, which is really good for him. So okay, maybe black's position is a bit more pleasant than white position, but black has only really small advantage here. And as I have said, I was pretty sure and I believed my position is much better here, so I wanted to do something as soon as possible. Of course, I didn't want to wait. I wanted to do something immediately, and in this moment I have taken on e3. This exchange is similar to that exchange of white's bishop from b1 on f5, and after the game I was really mad at myself for this move, but the truth is that this move is not bad, because the other white's bishop is also quite important, especially in defense of white's center. So important white pawns on d4 and e5, and also black is of course deleting the possibility of taking on f5 by white's bishop from b1. And here, of course, if white takes by pawn on e3, he would have better control of his center, of his d4 pawn. But on the other hand, the rook on e1 wouldn't be too much active. So white decided to take by rook, which is a good decision in my opinion. And here I have made the first mistake, because here probably the simplest solution was just to take on c1, exchange rooks, and play knight c6, and to continue with the plan bishop c4 and a5, a4, and simply say attack on the queen side, and it means also on the d4 square, on the d4 pawn. Instead of that, black could have played also g6, which is a very good move too. It is a typical prophylactic move, because at the moment white is not threatening anything, but we should feel that this bishop from b1 is strongly attacking h7 square, h7 pawn. So with the g6 move, we are neutralizing that possibility. And of course, there is no need to be worried about weakening dark squares around the black king, because we have dark colored bishop and white hasn't. So this is fine for black. But instead, g6 or exchanging on c1, I have played rook c4. And of course, here it would be really bad for white to take on c4, because black can take by pawn, opening d file to attack d4 pawn, and so on. And I believe that with that move, and of course with the idea of doubling rooks on c file, white should play something like knight f3 d2, and of course the knight is going backwards, which seems fine for black. But on the other hand, this tempo is really nice for white. And of course that's the problem of rook c4 move, because with this move, with knight d2, white is of course opening the third rank for his rook, and white of course wanna play rook g3 or maybe rook h3 and attack black's king by this rook. So in fact I gave my opponent very nice tempo with that rook c4 move. So now I have exchange on c1, and of course at this moment g6 is already necessary against some tactical tricks with bishop h7. White simply continued rook h3, attacking h7, and of course the idea of white is to play something with the knight from d2, opening the queen, and queen h6 in the next move. And it would be of course very unpleasant for black, because suddenly white would have too strong mating attack against the black king. And all this line I have seen while playing rook c4, and I still believed that rook c4 was a good decision, because I wanted to play the move, which is in fact a losing mistake here. But the truth is that black has no way how to be better already after that rook c4 mistake. For example, after, let's say, f5, white can easily take on f6, and for example after knight f3, bishop d3, exchanging queen d2, and knight e1, exchanging knight also, the position is just about equal here. Another possibility is h5. Maybe this is the most fighting move, just neutralizing that queen h6 idea. But on the other hand, with that move, black is weakening his king side more. So this is quite a dubious move. But okay, if we want to win, if black wants to win, this is maybe a good idea, just to risk it. But as I have said, after rook h3, I have played the move I planned while playing rook c4, and it is bishop g5. And of course, bishop g5 looks really natural. Black is activating his bishop, creating attack on white's queen. White's knight from d2 cannot move at the moment, of course. So it all looks really well for black. But at the moment, I have absolutely overlooked the next move by white. Very nice, very beautiful combination by white in this position, and his next move, which is of course knight e4, was a total shock for me. And I have to say that this is probably the most shocking move for me in my whole chess career. I absolutely didn't see that move. Absolutely overlooked that amazing combination. And of course, after this move, black is just lost here. White's position is winning already, and there is nothing to do with that. Really nice combination, nice idea. And as you can see, during only 5 moves from position, which was really good for black, which seemed really solid, suddenly from maybe, let's say, a bit better position, I was totally lost. During 5 moves, during let's say much weaker opponent, but I overlooked a combination, I miscalculated, and of course I was too much sure about my position and about the fact that I am better in that position, and anything like that just cannot work for white. That's a nonsense. That's a very bad thinking about the position, and this is just over. The idea is of course after that move that after taking the queen, black king is checkmated after knight f6, and rook takes h7, and for example after taking on e4, after taking on g5, now we can see that black king is just too weak, especially that black squares around him. And after, let's say, f6 and bishop d3, white can play a very strong move, rook f3, and white should be winning here too. Maybe it is the best way how to try to defend by black, but not enough too. So after knight e4, I have tried f6 immediately, but of course after taking on g5 by knight and queen, white is already a pawn up at the moment, and of course his attack is suddenly very strong. Not only queen h6 is threatening, but especially another sacrifice on g6, and after queen d8, queen h6, queen a7, white simply played bishop takes g6, and of course I had to resign here because there is really nothing black can do against white's attack. So, beautiful combination by white, beautiful win, and very nice game, very nice lecture of bad thinking, of over evaluating the position, and about being pretty sure and too much sure about your position and about the game, especially with the weaker opponent. And this is the result of that mistakes which I have made in this game. So very nice example, very nice loss for me, and Also, as I have said, this was the final part of this 10-part serial. So thank you for watching. I hope you have liked all the parts of that, and see you next time. See you at a new serial, and what would be about. Okay, let's say it would be a surprise for you. So goodbye and see you.